This story is shocking. It's about a mom and a child who wants to bring a horse to school as a pet, but the ending is horrible. I want you to check this out, and it kind of makes you think. And I'm bringing this as an awareness because when I was younger, things were different. For those who are watching this, you'll probably agree.
Yesterday, I picked my 8-year-old daughter up from school, and before she was even fully in the car, she goes, "Mom, guess what?"
By the way, this lady's name is Annie Moscato. She's a farmer, DUI, and all that on TikTok.
My teacher said that if you say yes and the principal says yes, then Salsa can be our class pet.
Salsa is a horse.
If you're new here, Salsa is a 1,000-pound American quarter horse, so not the most practical choice for a class pet. Of course, the immediate question that follows is, so is it okay with you? And in this moment, I really appreciate that the teacher passed the buck to both me and the principal, because I know the principal has not yet been asked, so I can continue that trend. And so I say, of course, if your principal says it's okay, of course she can be a class pet.
This is good because the mom is actually letting that child be an individual, and she's going to do something really shocking here.
Quarter horse, so not the most practical choice for a class pet. Of course, the immediate question that follows is, so is it okay with you? And in this moment, I really appreciate that the teacher passed the buck to both me and the principal, because I know the principal has not yet been asked, so I can continue that trend. And so I say, of course, if your principal says it's okay, of course she can be a class pet. That was the right answer, and I was told that I am the best mom ever, and she immediately starts trying to make a plan for how she is going to convince her principal that this is a good idea. And so she says, I bet a lot of other kids would like that too. I should get a lot of other kids to ask her if Salsa can be the class pet, and instead we make her like a school pet. I'm willing to pass the buck on this one to the principal, but I really like her principal. And so in an attempt to help her out, I was like, kiddo, when a lot of people want something, you don't typically all have them individually go to someone. You write one letter and then have them all sign it. And that's called a petition.
Well, lo and behold, this child does that. She has people sign this petition, and it's like, wow, this little kid's going to be somebody. She's doing her work, as we should do as we're trying to pass a law or get something going, right? Now, let's break away for a second and think about this. This child, her name is Ellie Joe, is actually in the second or third grade or something like that. And so she's going to draft this letter for these kids in her class in school to sign as a petition.
So she immediately starts writing a letter that she is going to get all the kids in her school to sign, advocating for her horse becoming the school pet. When I say organizing, what I need you to understand about Ellie Joe is that she has been, no joke, making to-do lists since she was 3 years old. So she is in second grade, but she reads and writes at a 5th grade level. So she was very literally, by the time we got home, writing a letter, drafting a letter to get everyone to sign, and then also had separate sheets of paper where she was making lists of all of her friends from after school in every grade and what class they were in. So she could go to them and then have them take little shorter versions of the letter back to their classes and have everyone in their classes sign it so that she could literally reach every kid at the school.
Keep in mind, this is a shocking video. This is not one of those normal Happy Lemmy videos. This is really something you need to wake up to. And I'm thinking, man, how sad that things are these days for children to have to deal with this type of situation. But let's go.
So I pointed out too, you're going to have to figure out the logistics of how this works. You can't just ask for something and not be able to explain how it's going to work to people. So she starts coming up with a sort of stall they could put outside her classroom. And if you made it movable, then it could move around the school. And where would Salsa go during recess? A big part of this plan involved me hauling the horse back and forth at the beginning and end of every week. And I'm just letting this plan roll at this point because this is the principal's problem. This is no longer my issue. By the time bedtime rolls around, this is a full-blown plan, and I'm forcing the kid to go to bed. And part of me is incredibly proud at the natural community organization that's happening here, though I feel like that might backfire at some point for me as a parent. You want your kids to know how to organize, but maybe after they move out of your house. But anyway, I'm also mildly concerned that some part of this is going to work, and the principal is going to be like, yeah, you can bring the horse for a day, and then I'm going to end up having to haul this freaking horse to school, but whatever.
Have you ever push something off on your kid because you knew it wasn't going to work? You're like, yeah, go ahead, because you don't want to crush their dreams and all that. And you just yeah, you can do that, knowing that it might not work. But this Ellie Joe, she's something.
So I get her to go to bed. So we have succeeded for the day. For the moment, I'm still the greatest mom ever. But then this morning, she gets up and walks out of her room and says, Mom, I've been thinking about it, and I don't think it's a good idea to bring Salsa to school as a class or school pet. And I said, no. Like, why? What changed your mind? She said, well, I was thinking about it, and you can't hide a horse in a closet.
All right, this is where I stop it. And I have to say this right so YouTube gods don't get mad at me. But there are certain exercises that schools implement right now when it comes to safety. Let's just put it that way. And this little kid decided that she was not going to proceed with this action of this horse because she was afraid that her horse could not be safe during these emergency school activities. Isn't that crazy? Like, when I was younger, the only thing we worried about was tornado drills. Like, we would, get under the desk and we would prepare for tornado drills. Now that I think about it, getting under the desk, did that really help if a tornado's coming? But I mean, it's just one of those deals. That's what we did. Now, there are other activities that they have to practice for. And we're not going to say here, some of you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just so weird to think about that. And this kid is in the, third grade? And she came up with that all by herself. And the reason why she thought it was a bad idea to bring a horse for school, for the kids. And you're talking, wow, that's deep. That is on a deep level. Like, how sad that is that we have school issues that you just can't do certain things now because the activities that has happened in the past, and it's just crazy. Wow, what a life we live in. I mean, I remember when I was younger, we never had issues. I mean, the only thing we worried about was going to the dentist with some dentist program that they would take us and put us all in the back of a truck. Yeah. And they would take us like close to downtown and we'd go in and you see kids coming out and they're crying. You don't know why they're crying, but figure it out once you're in there, you get dentistry work. I don't know. It's crazy, but wow, what a life some of these children are living in right now. And I don't think that most people realize how bad it is for some schoolers in certain areas. I mean, some of these kids are walking into schools that looks like it's prison. And it's just something we don't think about here in the United States enough. I mean, we've had a ton of activities that has happened in these places, but it's just crazy that, this lady, Annie's daughter, was gung-ho about, bringing a horse to school, and the teachers were on board, and then the principal was on board, and the mom was like, yeah, sure. But then she wasn't expecting that turnout. One night, she just thought about it, and she was like, this is a bad idea. We can't hide the horse in a closet somewhere in case something happens. Wow. I really don't know what to suggest, but I would just say this. Man, kids have a lot on their mind these days. And it's not just the stress of being online or social media or just seeing everyday's drama. They got a lot going on. I mean, it's almost like they have to be desensitized from certain things. I mean, let's keep it real. Like, if I had to go to a place, let's just say I had to go to church, and church had to break out and do a safety check during church, just in case there was some craziness going on. That would make you think, like, wow, man, what does this world come to? Are we here now? I mean, because the children are going to be there, they're going to do it too. They're going to have to go through the same, and it's just part of life. Like, really? have we come this far? And do we really have to worry about that? I guess we do. Huh. I mean, my eyes were open this weekend here in Dallas while I was driving down the street on Central, which is a side street from 75. A lady was standing right in front of a car, pointing her fingers at this corner with her purse in her hand, and the car was just stuck there. We had another guy on the side of the road just waving everybody through like, keep going. She has a drama issues right now. I'm like, wow. Deep thoughts, but I ran into that video today and I thought, man, this is crazy. What kind of times are we living in? This is crazy. And I don't normally bring bad drama, and this is not supposed to be a bad drama, video. But I'm just want to kind of bring awareness that this is the type of stuff the little kids have to go through. Anyway, family, if you got children, keep loving on them. Keep loving on them. Keep their spirits high, because the children today have more to worry about than we ever had to. Like, we could walk down the street. We walked everywhere. Never had to worry about anyone grabbing us or taking us. I mean, we were outside playing all day long. You know what I mean? And I know some people are like, well, your kids are inside playing video games all day long and that's bad for you. But is it? Think about that. Is it really bad for them now to be inside all day, rather outside? I would rather see my kids outside playing. I mean, that's just something to think about. Let me know your thoughts on that crazy story. Maybe I'm just feeling a certain type of way today. It's cloudy outside. But I just thought I'd come on here and share this little crazy story, because you never know. You never know. Hey, thanks for watching. Give me your thoughts on that in the comment and tell me where you're from. Have a great day.